Hakuouki Kyoto Winds and its sequel, Hakuouki Edo Blossoms, are a two-part series and the remastered version of Hakuouki Demon of the Fleeting Blossom, a PSP game released in 2012. I knew nothing about these games before jumping into them, but now, over 3 years after finishing them, I can safely say they are among my favorite visual novel series ever. The games are relatively long, each of them being about 40 hours long if you wish to unlock all the different character endings, although Edo Blossoms is slightly longer due to the extra bad endings. These two games were also the first visual novels I played on the Vita, and they made me realize that playing visual novels on a handheld is incredibly comfortable, much more so than on PC in my opinion. These titles became part of my bedtime routine. I remember playing until my eyes closed on their own, and then drifting into sleep thinking about the plot and the characters. Good times! Well then, let's begin. From now on, I'll be mentioning spoilers, so if you haven't played the game, maybe you should go check it out. And I mean it because this is one of my favorite visual novels. I've played a ton of otome games after this one, but none have hit my heart like this one. Even those that have similar settings or very dramatic stories, nothing has been the same, so I would strongly suggest you check out this game. Without further ado, let's begin. The story follows Chizuru, a young lass who is looking for her missing father. Fate brings her together with the Shinsengumi warriors, who were the Japanese police force in Edo, modern-day Tokyo, and sent to Kyoto to protect the shogun during the late Tokugawa shogunate from 1863 to 1869. As Chizuru finds out more about her past, she befriends and ultimately romances said warriors. Needless to say, the story is sad. Even if you go for the true ending, the events that happen before that are brutal. Our heroes are defeated time and time again. They gather hope only for more of the assortment to fall in each battle. The story did well in portraying the horrors of war, and that I respect. Being a historical fantasy, Hakuouki is based on events that occurred in Japan during the late Edo period, mainly focusing on the struggles of the Shinsengumi. They fought several wars in order to protect the shogunate, the Japanese military dictatorship. Ultimately, the Shinsengumi was defeated and disbanded after 7 years of conflict. In the course of these two games, we see it all slowly unfold, and it is as fascinating as it is heavy to take in. The added fantasy elements made it not only an interesting read, but also an enjoyable one theme-wise. The game offers a good number of encyclopedia entries, which is a nice bonus. Now it's time to present the bachelors, of which there are plenty to choose from. Hijikata Toshizo. Called Demon by his men, Hijikata is the vice commander of the Shinsengumi. He portrays himself as cold and composed, but in reality he cares deeply for his men and is heavily affected by the war. Hijikata is cold to everyone around him, including the protagonist, but he's not the mean kind of cold. I appreciate a man who knows what he wants, and is not afraid to say so without hesitating. As the story progresses, he begins to open up and show his emotional side. That was sweet, or rather bittersweet, due to the tragic events happening around him. Toshizo is no demon. He's a darling. He has been through so much and deserves a good hug. Every Hakuouki romantic deserves a good long hug. Hijikata no doubt gains a spot in my top 5 Hakuouki husbandos. Did I really write that? What the? Soji Okita. Oh, Okita. He's a bit of a clown and a breath of fresh air in an otherwise heavy plot. He's cocky, self-centered, and fun. But just because he jokes around half of the time, it doesn't mean he's not a dedicated member of the Shinsengumi. In fact, he's one of the best warriors there are. Everyone watch out! As a romantic, he's quite alright. Not my preferred type, but I can see why people like him so much. He deserves the world, especially after all this darling has battled through. Hajime Saito. Just like Hijikata, Saito is very serious. Actually, even more than him. Hijikata throws some sarcastic comments here and there, but Saito never does. Not being a fan of idle talk, he's not very talkative, but that makes him who he is, and we love him for it. As much as he tries to be in his own world and remain expressionless, we all know his heart is golden. Just like all the other romantics, his dedication to the Shinsengumi is exceptional. This man is the embodiment of the samurai code of conduct, a true respectable swordsman. The way he explained his life views is both endearing and compelling, which made his route one I especially enjoyed. When he eventually begins to open up and take notice of his feelings for the protagonist, he becomes the cute darling we all know he is. Saito is just too adorable. Definitely another member of my top 5 hakuouki husbandos. Heisuke Todo. Heisuke may be the youngest of the Shinsengumi, but boy is he brave. Maybe a little too emotive driven, but that is Heisuke alright. He's very cheerful, which makes him a pleasant character to interact with. He likes to hang out with Nagakura and Harada. I think of them as the inseparable three. We see him mature throughout the series, starting with an easygoing, naive Heisuke to a more cunning one. He never loses his spark, however, and continues to smile until the bitter end. Although, in the second game, we see him heavily discouraged and pessimistic, it's all part of his development. He's like a best friend, one you soon develop feelings for. Also, he totally rocks both long and short hair. God dang, I love a man with long hair. Alright, moving on. Sanosuke Harada. He is certainly something. A master of the spear? A master of the spear. I remember him being laid back and also a bit of a jokester. Aside from that, and the fact that he is very tall and slim, I did not recall much from his route. His appearance is what struck most to me. Him being the only redhead romantic. Gotta love that. I found him special in the sense that he can go from 0 to 100 in a second. He can be funny and then incredibly pessimistic. This trait is not my preferred one since I consider it a bit of a red flag. That being said, I like how he showed genuine love and care for the protagonist, through and through. Shinpachi Nagakura. Shinpachi is another member of the cheerful sweetheart gang. What? Cheerful sweetheart gang. Alright. Hey Kimi! To me, he resembles a big brother that will do anything to ensure his friends and family are safe. I like him, but I never really saw him in a romantic way. If anything, I want him as my... What? If anything, I want him as my gym instructor, because holy, he is buff. Also, I have to give him credit for his dedication in becoming a true samurai. Sadly, not everything goes smoothly in the second game. We see him struggle a lot, so much so that he abandons everyone. Chizue will then fill that caring, supporting role Nagakura used to have in her life. Keisuke Sanan. Oh god damn, Sanan. Sanan gives me hot doctor vibes, and by that I mean I find him very attractive. His voice, his way of expressing himself, everything about him is classy and refined. He's polite even when insulting others. Sanan can come off as egoistic, cold, and even double-faced, but in reality he's simply a person that takes any means necessary to achieve what they want, even if the methods to do so are highly unethical. I call him doctor, but he's more of a mad scientist. As the romance develops, you get to see how he changes little by little. He becomes mellow instead of corrupted. It goes to show how important Chizue's role was in his life. Sanan also made it to my top 5. Way to go! Suzumu Yamazaki. I absolutely love Yamazaki in the first game. He was interesting, he had a different role within the Shinsengumi, his personality reminded me of Saito, even his clothes were cool and unique. I was really looking forward to what his Edo Blossom route would be like. I had high expectations, and perhaps that is why I ended up feeling disappointed. His route kind of flopped, in my opinion. It started out so well, but he changed, and not in a good way. They did my man dirty. However, I will always remember how I had a blast playing the first half of his story. Thanks for the amazing times, Yamazaki. You're a true ninja. Hachiro Iba. Hey Kimi. The childhood friend Iba, well-mannered, with a comforting gentleness to him, is also part of my top 5 hakuouki bandos. Iba is kind, and I am all in for that. He's respectful to every person he encounters, and he always makes sure conflicts are resolved peacefully. To me, that is perfection. He's especially protective of Chizuru, which goes to show how much he cares for his childhood crush. I believe he is the only character that is clearly in love with the protagonist from the get-go, and it's just too cute to see. How is this man so dreamy? Even his hairstyle is on point. Miyano-san was a perfect voice actor for this character, hands down.
戻りましょうか。新選組の人たちもきっと心配しているでしょうし。
I have to admit, I kept using the replay what? I kept using the replay button on his lines, and not because I was trying to learn Japanese. I mean, I did take notes of some phrases. Learning with games is so fun, but I mainly did it to enjoy that amazing voice acting. Kazue Soma. There's not much I can say about Soma. I thought he was an okay character in Kyoto Winds, but oh, does he blossom well in the second game. His rank changed, so he assumed his new responsibilities to the best of his abilities. In the first game, he was the protagonist's student. The relationship was very wholesome, but unfortunately, it did not cut it for me. Either way, I have to give him credit for standing up to the Shinsengumi, even after all the defeats they went through. He's truly a loyal samurai. Ryoma Sakamoto. Born in the city of Kochi, Ryoma is a suave gunman with wavy hair and a Tosa dialect. His way of speaking is what made him stand out even more, being the only love interest with a distinct dialect. Ryoma is not part of the Shinsengumi. In fact, due to his political views, he became the enemy of many groups, including the Shinsengumi. Sakamoto is a smooth talker that completely dominates every situation he's put in. He's very strong as well and does not let anything nor anyone bring down his morale. He's very passionate in what he believes in, going to difficult lengths to achieve his goals. To me, he's more like a polite old stranger figure, due to the fact that I thought he was much older than he actually is. I thought he was like in his 40s, turns out Ryoma is like 28, just like Hijikata. Chikage Kazama, let's go! Sorry, okay. Down to our last romantic. Kazama is the villain and main male demon of the story. And by demon, I do not mean evil. I absolutely love how he shows you a completely different side of the story. This is what I like the most about his plot, aside from the fact that his characterization is splendid. Kazama was hired to oppose the Shinsengumi, so his role as an antagonist is clear from the start. We are made to believe that he's cruel, mindless, and would do atrocities without even blinking. And even though he certainly would not hesitate to fight anyone, he has values he holds dear. Playing his route was a delight. I just wanted to get to know him better. Kazama is composed, well-spoken, a wee funny when the time is right, and mature. His last trait is what did it for me. Chikage is wise well beyond his years. There is much to learn from his experiences, which he shares with the protagonist if chosen as a romantic. I love this character so much, I even did some fan art of him. The backgrounds, characters, and CGs in Hakuouki are all amazing. I especially love how the lighting and colorization were done. I even have some of these as PC wallpapers. They remind me of all the nice moments in Hakuouki, which I know will remain in my heart for a long time. I illustrated Hijikata, aiming to show how his struggles were weighing on him. And I also drew Kazama, relaxing while contemplating the sunset. The music in this game is incredibly atmospheric. I love it, and I listen to it while I write. I especially like Come to Me by Nightfall and In Your Arms. They were such lovely tracks. Give them a listen if you want to. Each of these lovelies being about 40 hours long, I do not see myself coming back to them in the near future. As of now, I feel like Hakuouki is a one-in-a-lifetime experience, one that will stick to you for years to come. Historical facts? Check. 12 love interests that you can romance? Check. I also have to mention that the game's writing is exceptional. Playing this game was like reading a long and satisfying book, which I definitely recommend. Just one heads up, although Hakuouki is a romance otome, in many of the routes the focus is not on the romantic relationship, but rather the circumstances surrounding the characters. I mean, these people are at war. Love surely blossoms in the end, but in many cases it takes a while. So if you're in the mood for a long, amazing drive, go check out Hakuouki on Steam or the beta, even though I don't think you can anymore. I think the store closed or something. Anyway, I wrote this review in like 2022, so I don't know if the game is on Switch or something. I think so, and like PS4 maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, that was it. That was my review. As I said, I wrote it like many years back. I had like a gaming vlog. Let me show you. There we go, bro. Look at this. So what I just read was like this review that I wrote. I had a vlog. I don't use it anymore. I think I started the vlog and immediately got my wrist injury. Yeah, it says right here, and then I just couldn't write anymore. What a bummer. But anyway, thank you so much. I hope you liked the review, and I hope you can check out the game, because like I said, it's amazing. I really can I not click on this? But yeah, and also my voice sounds really weird today because I am recovering from a sickness. I don't usually sound like this, but yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked it, and remember, wait, this is not a vlog. Why am I ended it like whatever? Life is amazing and you all deserve the best. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. One last thing to add though is that these games have the best bad endings I've ever read. It's like nothing hits the same. I will be reading a visual novel. It's like the end is like, yo, the character got kidnapped and they're like dying and stuff. No, hakuouki does it so much better. You actually feel the existential dread, and I think that's amazing. So yeah, I recommend it. End of story. See you later.